TV.com. You'll see I'm not alone today. You can find that on your computer or your mobile device. I got Elizabeth with Connect Mississippi joining us, and they are champion women business leaders in a proactive approach. And I love that. So welcome, Elizabeth.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I am so happy to have this. I'm also happy to see sunshine today. You guys, do you have sunshine where you're at?
Yes, thankfully here in Starkville, the skies are blue. I haven't been rained on 14 times today. I'm so glad. It kind of feels a little bit like spring.
Yes, and it means that we're going to get out, we're going to enjoy things, and I know you all have a wonderful event coming up called Connect Mississippi. I love that it's you and women who put this together. So let's back up. How did you and some of your colleagues or your entrepreneurial friends decide that there needed to be a unique event for women?
Well, Shelly, Misty, and I, we're all separate business consultants that have a similar type business, but different. And we have our own challenges, just like every other business out there in Mississippi. And one of the challenges that we had was sometimes when you're a business consultant or you're doing business on your own, you might be successful and you may enjoy the things that are happening good for your business, but you kind of get to the top of the mountain. And as we know in leadership, there's not a lot of people up there at the top. And so you're kind of lonely. And so you start looking around going, trying to champion other people that are doing what you're doing, but there really just isn't an opportunity for you guys to work together unless you make that happen. So the three of us, we met in Greenville, Mississippi at the Alluvian, and we tried to put our heads together. We're like, how can we champion other successful businesswomen, not necessarily consultants, just anybody that finds themselves in a leadership position or a business position? How can we champion those women and come together and realize that there is so much value in community and not see each other as competition, that we can all be at the top of our mountains and really cheer each other on?
It is sad. It does feel like women particularly sometimes aren't each other's best cheerleader, even though they may say that they are. I know that's changing, and that's not every woman for sure, but you do feel like we automatically kind of get defensive, or we feel like there's, a smaller pool of opportunities. When you're right, that's the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities for us who want to get out there and get them.
Yeah,
So
it
let's
doesn't
talk
matter
about the
what
event.
industry you find yourself in.
Absolutely.
Well,
So
I was just
let's
gonna say,
talk.
it doesn't matter.
Go ahead. No,
I
finish.
think we must have like a delay. I'm so sorry.
Just a,
But I
no,
was
just
just
a
going to
little
say
one.
that no matter what industry anybody finds themselves in, I like to use the real estate concept that there is enough real estate in the market for everybody to sell a house. Now, granted, I'm not a realtor, but I like that analogy. And because it doesn't matter if you do nails, if you're an accountant, if you're a teacher, if you're a business consultant, if you sell nutritional products, it doesn't matter. Like, there are enough customers out there for all of us without thinking that every customer is for you. So when you know your value and you know what you offer and you know who your target audience is, then you're not really worried about what she is doing. You can actually refer her because you know where your strengths are and where her strengths are, your deficiencies are. And that's what I love about the three of us that work together is even though we're all in the same genre of business consulting, we're not great at everything, but we refer each other business all the time. And so that's what I'm excited about, just encouraging other women to see the value in community.
I love that. And y'all decided to have an event. It's called Connect Mississippi. So tell us about that.
So it will be in Starkville on February 10th. Our very first event we had was in Cleveland. We had it at the Lyric, and it was fantastic. And just like every first time event, you don't really know what's going to happen. Like, you plan and you hope. I mean, we even prayed, and then it just showed up. It was amazing. We were able to execute something, and women walk away with just their minds blown that the solution to this problem of overcoming being competitive with one another, that there was actually a solution. And so as soon as we realized that it was going to be a successful thing, we started planning for Starkville, and it will be downtown at the Starkville Community Theater. It will be from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And our reason for that is we don't want anybody to feel rushed. Go take your kids to school, go get you a cup of coffee next door at Strange Brew or 929 or the Bookmark Cafe. Come in rested, ready to go. We'll break at lunch, and there are 7 different restaurants downtown. So hopefully all 90 participants will be able to kind of disperse all over downtown and patron different restaurants. And then we'll come back at 1:30, finish up the day, be done by 3, so that then everybody can go shop downtown as well.
You've definitely got it all figured out, Elizabeth. And it's I love that it's in person, and I love that it's supporting your main streets and your downtown businesses as well. Because again, same thing. Just because you have a next door business on Main Street doesn't mean they're all going to sell the same thing, and they can share the same customers really. And so supporting them definitely matters. Give us a little breakdown though of like the day. I mean, within what 6 hours, you would have what 6 sessions. What could someone expect or topics to be covered?
Okay, so we're going to have three different sessions. So, Shelly, Janice is going to open us up. She's with Easton Leak Consulting and MadeInMississippi.com. She's going to open us up that morning, and she's just going to kind of share her backstory. She's 50 years old. She was a realtor in Starkville for a long time and then has become the new owner of Made in Mississippi. And so she's going to kind of share her backstory of some of the setbacks that actually led to her set up. And then we'll have a little break. And then Misty McCraw will go. She's with Misty McCraw Consulting or McCraw Consulting. She specializes in human resource management. And she is actually going to be very vulnerable with some things to kind of reveal how our value doesn't come from what we do, because we're human beings, not human doings. And so she's going to kind of, I mean, I've seen her talk. It is very vulnerable, and it kind of allows everybody to kind of take a deep breath and say, wow, I don't have to pretend every day to be successful. Then we'll have our lunch, like I said, and then VIP tickets will come with me downstairs to 929 Coffee, and I'm going to do some Enneagram coaching, some group coaching that'll help hopefully in the business marketplace. I love the Enneagram. I coach clients all the time. And so that 1:30 when we come back. Oh, you are? Okay, well, I'm an 8, but as you can see, I have a really strong 7 wing. Do you know what your wing is?
Yes, 2. And then 9 is my whatever, but yeah.
Alignment. 9's your alignment. Yeah. That's so fabulous. I love to know that. Okay. So then after I coach on the Enneagram over lunch for our VIP participants, then at 1:30 I'll come back and I wrap the whole day up. And my topic is called Make It All Make Sense. And it's very, let me just say, we end up writing our own obituaries.
Interesting. I kind of like it.
Yeah, because my whole idea is like, if you don't know where you're going, I mean, really, what are you doing? So what I'm going to kind of talk on is reverse engineering. Like, where do you want to be when you're laying in your coffin? You know, what do you want to have said about you? And said, let's go back to living a life that writes that obituary.
I love that, because so often, particularly women, we get really caught up in, the things that doesn't matter, the things that are never said on our obituary or on our tombstone, right? Like for someone who also, I'm a dietitian and sort of live in that space, I always preach that no one cares about what your weight is when you die, or whether they don't ever say, mom had nice abs and a thigh gap. Like those aren't the things that they leave behind. And if that is what you want to leave behind, I'm sorry, but
Nobody
so
cares.
it's definitely nobody cares. So thinking about the things that do matter and that's sort of what your legacy would be, I think that's a really interesting sort of something. I think that is a task a lot of folks hadn't taken a lot of time to think about.
We have, I mean, seriously, like I watch the blood drain from people's face and they're like, we're going to do that. I'm like, oh yeah, we're fixing to do that, because as leaders, like you said, we're so busy doing. And I know, and sometimes we just kind of become machines and we're just doing the next thing that somebody else requires of us. And this particular day is all set aside to go, okay, everybody in this room finds themselves in some sort of a positional leader, leadership position. I mean, if you're a mom, if you're the boss, if you are the oldest sibling, whatever, that's positional leadership. But we're trying to get to a place of permissive leadership. And, and the pinnacle that John Maxwell talks about is where, you're replicatable, and people want to be what you're doing because of the way you made them feel. And so when we get all these women together, I want us to be able to, at the end of the day, be able to say that I'm an intentional leader that makes people feel loved and wanted and seen, and people follow me because they want to, and that I'm a leader worth following.
Well, it's worth checking in to Connect Mississippi. You said it's coming up February the 10th. There's like 90 slots, I think you said. Those will go fast. So how do we sign up for it,
Yes.
Elizabeth?
Okay, so it's Connect, CONNECT, Miss, MISS.com, connectmiss.com. You can also find us on Instagram at connect_Mississippi, but the tickets can be bought at connectmiss.com.
All righty, and I feel like you'll end up spreading this further across Mississippi, so you're welcome back anytime. Good luck on your event. Go enjoy that sunshine.
Yes, thank you, girl. Thank you for having me on here.
All right, you stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.